Self-compassion presentation begins.
Thank you very much, our program director. Hey, today I can see you're in the mood.
I'm there.
Since this morning.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues. How is the morning?
Beautiful.
You're looking good today. Really, we appreciate the way you honored this event. Thank you very much. My job now is to introduce our guest speaker. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce this beautiful lady, Dr. Silahle. She's so beautiful, you can see. She's so beautiful. Okay? I'm going to read her profile. Dr. Silahle is the Chief Executive Officer of Beautitudes Psychology Center. Is Lebogang Filda, okay? Filda Silahle, who holds a master's degree in clinical psychology.
Wow.
She is PhD candidate with Northwest University, Mahikem branch. Okay. And her graduation is due in July.
Wow.
Please inform us. Please invite us. Thank you. She has been in private practice, which involved elegantly for 23 years. She is a renowned expert in psychological assessment related to road accident fund, which is REF, and civil matters. A phenomenal woman who expresses her bravery in a graceful way. It's a keynote speaker with 20 years experience. Wow. Of educating the nation through various platforms, including radio stations and writing comments in newspapers. That's Doctor. She is a revolutionary thinker. She founded Beautitude Psychology Center. She funded Pretty Budget School for Kids. And she funded Beautitude Faith Products Farm. Her YouTube channel is Beautitude Psychology Center, centered on empowering the mind, the soul, and the body of the nation worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Dr. Silahle on the stage.
I was afraid to show what they teach me in my house. Yeah, there's one who's so gifted in dancing, and she always bring me along and say, join, but I was afraid to show you because I'm going to outshine you. And I never knew that pastors can dance so well. I just saw it rain. They dance like David when he danced until he was half naked.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that this is my way of saying, let us relax. We're not going to have a presentation. We're going to have a conversation.
Okay.
Hence, I said, please let us not have projectors, because people will be focusing on what is projected and not getting the message and missing. When I got the invite, I was told I'm going to talk to caregivers, people who are taking care of others. And I prayed about it. I asked, how should I prepare it? And what came is self-compassion. And I asked, why self-compassion? I always ask God why. When he gave me the name Beautitudes, I asked, why should I be named Beautitudes, which is Matthew 5. And when I asked for the name for the school, we call it School for Kids. It's not a crash. We have a school for kids. He said to me, badgers. And I knew exactly where I should go and find the badgers. And it was in the Bible. And I asked him why a badger. He still told me why it should be told badger, but I'm not gonna go there. So I was just saying, even now I asked, he said, self-compassion. Because you are so caring towards other people and you forget about yourself as caregivers. So now, who are these caregivers? It's not only you who are seated here. Caregivers could be the pastors, hence we have the pastors in subs. The nurses, where are the nurses? I believe they are also part of you. The EPW, the Employee Assistant Program Officers, they are caregivers. Before they even take a phone to say we're making an appointment for this person, they've already spoken to the person. They know the reason why they should refer. The caregivers are the social workers, the doctors. In army you have them. People like you, the police officers, the lawyers, the soldiers, and us psychologists. I didn't exhaust the list, but I was just giving an example of who are the caregivers. And these people that I cited as caregivers, they go through life challenges just like any other human being. The fact that you are a social worker, you are well trained, it doesn't mean you will not go through challenges. It doesn't mean you always have answers. It doesn't mean you always know what to do when you come across a situation. And how the community perceive the caregivers or us as caregivers play a role on how we're gonna handle it. They look at how we handle challenges in our families, in the community, and some of them, they judge us in a bad way. And some of them, their judgment is positive, is building, it allows you to grow. For example, when a medical doctor becomes financially bankrupt, people question that. And they even laugh about it. How can a medical practitioner be without money? They expect that that person must always have cash and overflowing cash. When a social worker's marriage fail, and maybe to the point of divorce or completely separation, which is divorce, yes, people question it and even doubt if they should consult with that social worker. If him or his marriage failed, how will this person help me? Hence I say the way the community perceive us as caregivers, it really affects us. When a child of a psychologist chooses delinquent ways, people judge the psychologist. And they ask if they can consult with her or him. If this person cannot breed children who are listening, who are productive, who want to go to better schools, it's not like you can't afford to take them. They just refuse. And now people are judging you that if this person cannot breed something like herself or himself, can I really take my children to her? Will she or will he be able to help me? Forgetting that as parents, we can babysit our children to a certain age. And they reach a point where we advise them and they make a choice, either to listen to you or not to listen to you. When a child of a pastor goes into drugs or prostitution, people question the pastor's prayers and doubt if really God hear the pastor's prayers. So can I go to this pastor and say, these are my challenges, and believe that he can or she can pray with me and I will be answered? If her own family is going through this, if her son is into drugs, her daughter is a prostitute, it means God doesn't hear her or him. This is what the caregivers are going through. We are harshly judged by our community. And the irony is that if it is publicly known that a certain lawyer publicly embarrass his wife or his family, people have confidence to go to the same lawyer and say, will you stand up for me? When it is publicly known that the lawyer is going through divorce, people have confidence to go and say, may you help me with my divorce case. The same happened to a surgeon. People will go to the same surgeon whose child is into drugs and they believe the surgeon can help them. But when it comes to us, we are judged in a very harsh manner. Life events, work overload, changes in life and circumstances that we go through, things like you are no longer a parent to an 8-year-old. They grow. Now you are dealing with teenagers. Circumstances have changed. Now you are no longer just a colonel. You are a colonel and you have this other role in the community. You have so many kids that are at varsity. Those things, they put more weight on us. And this leaves us physically exhausted and mentally strained. Hence, we need a day like this where we become ourselves, where we put all these titles and everything down and we just ourselves. So this means your attitude towards your circumstances will have a significant impact on how you cope. We are responsible how we cope with these situations. Self-compassion comes into play now. But first, you need to know who you are so that you will know how to be kind with yourself. When I say you need to know who you are, I mean you need to know the type of a person you are when you are facing difficult times. Because as a self-care giver, what you deal with 24 hours, even beyond 24 hours, is people's problems. They call you at night and they expect you to pick up the call. They expect to find you where they expect to find you. If you are not there, is a challenge. Let me share a joke. When I was still young, I volunteered to start psychological services in Leboagomo Hospital. I was placed and fully employed at Tabamopo Hospital. But because of the passion I have in what I'm doing, I decided to start psychological services in Leboagomo Hospital. And there came a time where I felt it's time to be kind with myself. And I just took one week leave. And when I come back the following week, people were so many lined up waiting for me. And I look at them and I'm like, I've never seen this number in a day. I know that I'm a horse, I can pull, but today. So then I started working. And this little girl came with the mother. Now it is their time for consultation. And the mother said to me, when you were approaching, my daughter said, oh, mommy, the reason she doesn't take care of us, the reason she was not here last week is because she's a pretty woman. And that was not the reason. The reason was I wanted to be kind with myself. So you need to know yourself so that now you know that I'm no longer taking care of me. So if you don't know yourself, you will never know how to apply this self-compassion we are talking about today. There are caregivers who are anxious type of people. You know that you are a caregiver, but you still lack self-confidence. You worry much every morning. What is coming today? Will I be able to handle it? You don't just wake up with confidence and say, I'm ready for whatever that is coming. You are concerned. What if a difficult case comes? What if this person spent 3 hours with me and at the end I can't tell what they were saying? What if they expect answers and I have nothing to offer? These are the anxious type. People who need reassurance. After doing things, every time they want someone to say something. If you don't say anything, they ask you, presentation. Did you hear me? Those are the anxious type. And we have the perfectionist. These ones, they don't tolerate mistakes. They want everything to be perfect. And because of that, they are often exhausted. Because something that they can do in 10 minutes, it will take them 30 minutes. We have the stimulus seeker. These are the type of people who thrive on risk. They are addicted to rush of adrenaline. They always want something. Oh, this tells me that you already know who you are. Okay.
And the perfectionist.
The one that they're pointing on this side, I agree because she was pushing me. And we have the ambitious type. And these ones, they channel all their energy into work. What they want is work. If they don't work, they feel they are lazy. There's something going wrong. And their problem, they don't delegate. They want to do everything by themselves. And that is going to leave you exhausted. I see the one they are pointing.
Prophesy.
Hey, this is self-compassion. So when we know the type of a person we are, then we are going to know how to take care of ourselves. We are going to know when we reach a level where we need to take that break of just 1 week and you come back and people are saying, no, this one, she doesn't take care of us. So it involves extending the same compassion to yourself. That is self-compassion. The same compassion that you give to others, this time you give it to yourself. The same way you give to them. Don't compromise when it comes to yourself. In this way, self-compassion does not denote narcissistic self-interest. these days people knows our terms, no? You know what I mean when I say narcissistic. And you diagnose wrong. My husband is narcissistic. My colonel is narcissistic. My colonel is psychopath. And this person doesn't fit all these things. So, but self-compassion doesn't mean you are narcissistic. It doesn't mean you are self-centered. It means you are now able to say, I care about myself. I'm mindful of myself. I'm a human being. I deserve to be treated as a human being. And the first person to treat me as a human being is me. So as a caregiver, you help others with their spiritual and psychological issues. Hence, you are social workers, you are pastors, and that is very, very important to the nation. They need you. And if you don't take care of yourself, who's going to take care of them? And as we are giving care to others, relationship with our families should not be neglected. They ask that the phones should be off. Relationship with our families should not be neglected. Because when you neglect your family, now you are creating a problem. This increase you directing the energy into the care, provision, and creating a problem in your own family. So the sad part is that as caregivers, often we are forgotten because no one asks, how do you do? No one asks, how was your day? No one wants to know why I didn't see you yesterday, but they want to know why you didn't come yesterday. Therefore, take care of yourself and prioritize yourself. And let us now talk about this taking care of ourselves, self-care. What is it when we say self-care? What do we mean when we say be kind with yourself? It involves various strategies that help to promote or maintain one physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. As a caregiver, there are 4 areas that you must always take care of: your physical body, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual health. Here, I got an impression that most of you are Christian, but some are double, isn't it? Whatever that you believe in is okay. It's your spiritual health. Take care of it. You know how best to take care of your spiritual health. Don't neglect it. Take care of it daily. Emotional. Take care of your emotions. Do not neglect how you feel and put a mask and a beautiful smile. And the next thing we hear of people who just drop and die at work. Haven't you heard of such people?
We did.
They just drop and die at work because they've been hiding behind the makeup and the mask that they put and giving us the impression that they are strong, everything is going well. And mentally, take care of your mind. Positive talk is very important. Even just telling yourself, it is well. Don't say it shall be well. If you say it shall, it will never arrive. Or it might take time. It is well. all is well. It's okay that I'm going through this now. And to show that indeed you are taking care of yourself. If what you feel emotionally is asking you to cry, there's nothing wrong in crying. When we cry, we show that we are taking out the pain. And I want to say to the male people who are here, men are human beings. They cry. We as black people, we are told men doesn't cry. And that is what caused some of the diseases that I wouldn't like to go there. It will be a topic of another day. But we know that most of them, they have hypertension because it comes from them not being allowed to express how they feel. And mentally, if I tell you I'm not happy with you, I'm not fighting. When we say mental, we also include talking your mind. Express how you feel, what you think. And physically, I think that is the main thing for you in SAPS. And if you miss it, then you have a problem. So these strategies also ensure that our personal and family needs are not neglected. You as a person, you take care of yourself daily, and your family is also catered. You can exercise with your little ones. That is another way of spending time with them. As you are busy exercising, you are playing with them, which is something that our kids miss because we are always out there taking care of the rest and neglecting our own families. So as we look at these strategies, ensuring that as a person, you are catered for and your family is not neglected, the first thing is that identify the relevant stressor. What are the things that are really stressing you? From your workplace, you know them. 1, 2, 3, these are my serious stressor. And look for support, either from colleagues or even professional intervention. Once you know your stressor, deal with them. Don't leave them to linger. The other thing is that do not neglect your own health care routine. Now I'm addressing that 4 areas. It should be a routine to take care of yourself. Have appointment with yourself and do not allow anybody to interrupt that time. You know that is your time for exercise. Now they tell you this and this happened. You say, no, I will exercise in the morning. Let me join them. Remember, you have an appointment with yourself. If you say 6 to 7 is my time for physical, to take care of my physical health, be there 6 o'clock. Keep that appointment. Whether you feel it, you feel like or not, be there. And you will be surprised. Most of the time you drag yourself there. And at the end, you look back and you say, wow, I did better than yesterday. So keep that appointment with yourself. Excuses such as there is not enough time to make these appointments with self, or I am so tired of attending this appointment with self, will soon throw you into a deep end of compassion fatigue. Now, it's no longer self-compassion. Now it's compassion fatigue. Now you hate what you are doing. Waking up, coming to work is a struggle. You are burnt out. So we need to really take care of our health. Health maintenance is also important for longevity. You know, when they were dancing here, I look at them and I say, judging their age, not by the dance, but by their face, I could tell that, oh, they've been on this earth planet longer, but they still move when they want to move. So self-care is very important, especially in your area. How will you chase the thief if you're not taking care of yourself? Eating healthy, I'm not a dietitian. However, I will mention that it is very important. Fresh fruits. Let us stop buying bundles once in a month, women. And then we say, no, I do grocery once in a month. There are things that we can do once in a month. There are things that we should do every week. Fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, and getting minerals, vitamins, and encourage and teach our young ones to take them even before they go to school. If managing your physical and psychological health is not important, then you are heading to a serious trouble. As I mentioned, now you are going to burn out, you are going to fatigue. Research clearly demonstrated negative emotional consequences of caregiving without self-care can lead to dysfunctional coping skills. Now, the way you cope is no longer right. Overindulgence with alcohol is an example that I can give. Because now your body can no longer take it. Emotionally, you can no longer cope. What you do every day, before you go home, you get 6. Your body gets used to 6, it will go to 12. Then the next thing, when you buy your grocery that you do once in a month, it includes alcohol that now you even put in your own fridge. And after that, you say to your children, they shouldn't drink. Why? Because they see it is in the fridge. It's available in the house. They see you taking it, but you are saying they shouldn't take it. So you are contradicting yourself. So when we don't take care of ourselves, it also strains our relationships, especially intimate relationships. There are times where we take laptops home and we work until late, but it shouldn't be every day. There is a period where you know you are forced to sleep at 12. At this period, I sleep only 5 hours. But how am I going to make up for the time? That is when now you go back and take care of yourself. So when you are always having these laptops at home, when will you have time with your loved ones? When will you have time with your own children? You don't even know what is happening in their lives. You don't know anything about their education. What you are interested is that I pay school fees, you give me a pass. But you are not playing a role in their lives, in their education. How do they get a pass if you don't say, let us see your assignment? You did it better. You encourage them. But I know you can do better than this. So if we are always taking care of others, even after hours, you are ready to go to work, your family is neglected, then you're creating a problem in your family. And when we don't take care of ourselves, it reduces life satisfaction. The purpose of you being here become meaningless. You don't understand why you are on this earth planet. And hence we have higher rate of suicide, especially in your department. It's so high. It needs to be addressed at a depth level. Physical illnesses will come when we don't sleep enough and for a longer time. when we don't exercise, when we don't eat healthy, we will end up having physical illnesses because of not taking care of ourselves. Psychological disorders will also follow. You become anxious. There are people who are always expecting the worst to happen. And you ask them why. They don't know why, but they just expect the worst to happen. This happens because they are exhausted psychologically or emotionally. And it starts with sadness. At the end is depression. And we shouldn't forget that there are many people who come to work that are depressed. You will never tell that they're depressed because depression goes in levels. It starts mild, then it comes moderate. Then moderate, we suspect there is something wrong. But mild, we think they're doing well. When it's severe, now it's admission. We shouldn't allow ourselves to reach that level. And then now we have reached burnout. We don't want anything. You just cry without a reason. That is a sign of burnout. You fight everyone. You turn small things into big, big mountains. It shows that now you have reached compassion fatigue. You are tired of caring. You need to take care of yourself. Now, what do we do? What is it that we should start doing? Or what is it that we have been doing and we should continue doing and take it more serious if we were doing it casual? Relaxation. We must create time. There's never time until we know that time is available and time wants you to decide how to use it. We always say there is never time. Time is always available. It's just how do you use the time in your hands? How much do you want to accomplish in a day? The 4 areas. How much do you give to your physical body? How much time do you give to your emotion? How much do you give to your spiritual? How much do you give? Which one didn't I mention? Mental. And some of them we can do them together. You are in your bath, you are taking your hot bath. If you are a Christian, you are listening to a sermon. At the same time, a sermon is busy. We have audio Bibles. You are taking a bath, you are listening to a scripture. You can do them together. You are exercising and you choose not to put the earthly music but to put gospel if you are a Christian. You exercise with it. Isn't it worshiping and exercising at the same time? So time is available. How do you use your time? And we also need, as we relax, we should relax with understanding what is happening in my body when I'm in a rush taking care of others. And what happened, the opposite, when I'm relaxed. I said many people are addicted to adrenaline, isn't it? So now when we relax, we use different hormones. We allow our brain to release a different hormones that are healing. It's the opposite of the adrenaline. Yes. Then now we use the ones that make us to relax and to heal your body. There are clinical psychologists who specialize in debriefing. Many times when people talk of debriefing, when an incident, an event happened, is when they go and ask, what happened? And they make people talk about it. Yes, it's part of debriefing, but it goes deeper than that. There are times we don't need to talk. We do. This thing is in us. I'm tired. physically. I'm exhausted spiritually. Mentally, I'm zero. This is not time to talk, it's time to do. So there are clinical psychologists who specialize in this area, where they put you in the doing, and what you do is going to release what is inside you. When you finish the doing, you are completely healed. I'm not exaggerating. Let me share an example of another time when I was still in the Department of Health. I used to be the leader when it comes to debriefing. And we were there with a group of my colleagues, and it was a group of social workers were not there. It was the nurses and the doctors who are specializing in termination of pregnancy. They go through a lot. Just like the police, who are, what do you call them? Who go and pick the corpse. They find people rotten. They exhume people because I killed somebody and try to hide that person. That area in police, what do you call it? Yes. Those people need serious help. Do you know that some of them, they don't even eat meat because of what they see? When they see meat on their plate, they see the corpse. They see the things that they see. So now, these nurses, when we arrived there, and the doctors, there were two who were outspoken. It's not a problem. And one of them, her finger was wrapped with a bandage. And she said, today, we don't want anyone to tell us to play netball and soccer. We don't want to pull a rope. Social workers, every time they make us do that. We are not going to do that, but we want to go back home debriefed. And my colleagues were like, then what are we gonna do? And I said, but they told you. They said social workers. Are you social workers? Social workers did what they are trained to do with them. You are not social workers. We are here to debrief them, and they will go back home healed. We did the debriefing. The one who had a bandage, actually it was on the ring finger. The very first day, the bandage was out and she was healed. And she said, she gave testimony there that she was due immediately after the debriefing. She was going for orthopedic surgery to cut the finger. The finger had been painful and they couldn't tell how. And the only way to alleviate her with the pain was to remove the finger. Even today, when she met me in town, she raised her hand, not to greet, to show me that the finger is still there. So that is debriefing. When we talk, yes, something happened, we go and talk, but there is a deeper level. And with the kind of work that you are doing in SAPS, that is the kind of treatment you need. That will reduce the rate of suicide that is taking place in your territory. People are wounded inside, and you always make them talk. Some they don't want to talk. Most of them there, they didn't want to talk. Hence I say, the only two who were outspoken, they are the ones who said, we don't want 1, 2, 3, but we want healing. And people will vomit their anger. They will literally vomit it. They eat food now, but when they vomit, the food will not come out. Only foam come out, the anger. So I'm saying, Colonel, your children need deeper healing, not just talking. And this can be done as individuals. it can also be done in a group form. You just need the person who is trained in that area, not any clinical psychologist. So now we understand that there's a difference between psychotherapy and counseling. Counseling, we talk. Psychotherapy, we heal you. You come on a wheelchair. In 4 sessions, you must be out of the wheelchair. Recently, we had a woman who was on her crutches, and her orthopedic advised her, if you go for surgery, they're going to mess you up because they told you they don't find a problem, but you can't move. You only need somebody who has knowledge. And she came on that. And the last 2 weeks when she was coming in, she didn't notice that I was behind her. And she was walking faster now. No more crutches. And then when we entered, and then she said, I came before you. Then I said, no, we arrived at the same time and we are on time. And in our session, I said, wow, last session you were walking, but you were still taking care of yourself. Today I got a chance to see that you walk fast. And she said, I'm back to gym. I'm back to taking care of my house. Just like my orthopedic was honest with me that if you go for operation, they will mess you up. I'm not saying every condition is psychological, but the truth is that 80% of what we feel in the body is not physical, is psychological. It's just your inner you can only express itself through your body. Yes. Let me stop there. I was just showing you that yes, we need counseling, we need debriefing, but in this kind of line of work, you need to go deeper so that you will be able to take care of others. So psychotherapy, we learn to leave behind the load when we knock off and go home. As a caregiver, one of the other reasons that caregivers are always fatigued, their marriages are not going well, they are easily irritable, is because when they go home, they don't take the laptop, but they take everything here in the mind. You are home, you are thinking of what happened to that person. Your role is just a little portion, but there is the creator. He will take care of the rest. So in psychotherapy, that is where the caregivers can learn how to do that. You learn the difference between sympathy and empathy. Because if you are sympathizing, now you carry them. But if you can master empathy, you will help people, you will never take them home, and you will be able to be a wife, a husband, a friend to your children, a neighbor, a member of the community, an excellent worker or employee, and you will love what you are doing. And when we love what we are doing, we excel. Thank you.